Hi, everyone. Welcome to Office Hours. If you're watching on YouTube and you'd like to get Hi, everyone. Welcome to Office Hours. If you're watching on YouTube and you'd like to get more information, you can find it at officehours.global. First hour is a general discussion about anything you'd like to talk about on media and virtual production.
And using the default key, we seem to be frequently unable to start the stream. It shows black screen with excellent connection. Is he hitting a key use limit, he wonders?
You mean you're letting it just use a key? When you say default key, what do you mean?
Yeah, so the channel's default streaming key, so we're just essentially testing, different variations of like multiple audio channels, et cetera.
Oh, I think we're alive. Let's see. Okay, I think we're good. Let me just ask some folks here. Okay, I think we're up. I don't know what happened before, but looks like we're good now. Cool, it works. All right, let's turn the display back on. Boom. Okay. So I've been kind of busy. I've been doing bits and pieces here and there, so I haven't been streaming because I haven't had a good block of time. But I'll show you what we have, which is pretty neat. We'll just jump right into it. So yeah, we have the guy shooting bullets back and forth. Let me actually move them a little further away. So the guys walk up to each other. As you see, you have like kind of movement. They're moving on the grid. They're sort of attached to the grid. The way this is working is the game engine, remember the one that's on the console that's just printing out, that's still there. What I also have is I have a way to create map events. So I'll show you what that looks like. So if I go to map here, I added this map event record. And so there's an event type, there's a source of the event, the target could be either a person or a place. There's a potentially path for the event. And then there's a hash table full of health and status changes. You could imagine, you know, you shoot a shotgun and it hits like 5 people, or you heal a group of people. And so at any given time, for any given event, a number of different health and status changes could occur. And so this is the GUID of the unit. What keyboard am I using? I'm using a Logitech G610. I love it. Actually, this is my second one. I think I somehow broke a key on the other one, and so I had to get another one. I got the same one. I'm a big fan. Yeah, so if we go to globals here, you know, we created this globals log last time, and it just writes to the console, and then we've overridden this. So if you're in Godot land, globals uses gdprint. We created an exception. So if you're in Godot land, it prints a error. And if you're in regular console world, you return this exception. But now one thing we created as well in the map, so this is how we were seeing everything, right? We were doing globals.log and we were getting a print, and it was becoming kind of like a text-based adventure or something, right? We needed to get that content into Godot, right? Like we needed that content to be driving, driving this game here, right? And so the way that I went about doing that is in the map, now you have this list of map events. And so in a lot of places where I was writing to this console, like here's a good example. So in this case, I was writing to the console, you know, unit hits unit for damage. Instead, or in addition to that, I'm also creating a map event. And that's the source, the target, it's an ability, and it's damaging this person. Their health is changing by negative the amount of damage, right? So the map event is just, you know, kind of allowing you to replay all the things that happen. And so the idea is Godot probably shouldn't be using the map object directly because it might be further ahead. You know, I might have a ton of moves queued up, like the entire enemy turn is queued up. I want that to run sort of asynchronously, right? So basically, the game engine does as much as it can up until it's your turn to move. That gets just stored in these map events, and then these events get played at whatever pace you want them to get played. And so that's what we were seeing here. So I'll start it again. So all these map events happen just instantly, pretty much. Oops. All these map events happen instantly, but the But the map events, when they're rendered by Godot, there's a delay. So see, the game is basically over at this point, you know, and the logic's all done, but now we're just replaying these map events that are saying move here along this path, use this ability. And so you see I have these little bullets that are flying back and forth, which is pretty fun. And I have a little damage indicator. There's definitely more we can do. I want the damage indicator to, have more flair to it and everything, but this is a good start. Another thing, which I think is really cool, involves some kind of complicated math, which I thought was really fun, is you could actually click and drag, because eventually I want this to work on phones. And notice when I'm dragging around, the cursor is staying on the same square. See that? And so even if I click here, same kind of thing, the cursor is staying on that square. So it's in real time figuring out, okay, my cursor is here, and when I started the click, I was on this square, so just keep on this square. So it looks you can do some really fun stuff with it. I've never seen a game do anything like this, especially when you have, things that are really high up. You want to be able to just click and kind of like you're, holding something, it just anchored on that spot, which is pretty fun. So that's all good. Here's our projectile. Here is our projectile. It has a emissive property, which means it creates its own light. And so that's what gives it that halo, that glow effect. Here's our arena. We can go and edit our grid map and all of that. So the next thing we need to do, fortunately, I don't as much time as I wanted, but I have about half an hour, and I want to deal with the user input. So we have the mouse picking, we can click on one of these and we know which one we clicked on. That's how we're able to do all of this. So what we need to do is we need to say, okay, now it's the human, the player's turn to move. So, the whole thing kind of stops and waits for the person to do something. So my plan is to kind of allow the person to tap anywhere on the screen here to move around as long as they're within that kind of radius. So I guess the first thing we should do is draw that radius once we get to the part where we can pause. So going over to here, in our battle logic, we have this start battle, which gets called when this node is ready, or actually, frame afterwards. And then we have this process that is, processing map events until there's no events left. So that all makes sense. What we need something to say, oh, I need to be in interactive mode, right? So let's jump over to our console here, console version. There needs to be a way of saying, this team is being run by a person versus the computer. So that's the first thing. Let's do that. We have game settings, we have team, here we go. So in team, we need a property. And so that's going to percolate down. So let's say the red team is going to be player controlled, and the blue team is going to be computer controlled. So now here, let's look at how remind ourselves how this is going. So the way this step function works, we loop through each team, and for each team, we loop through each unit, and then for each unit, we execute some AI. So this is going to have to be more interactive. You could do some shenanigans with threads and all of that. I really don't want to do that. I'd rather just keep the state. So in other words, the battle should know the current team whose turn it is. So maybe we can do, let's see, we'll do list team quid team order. This dot team order equals map dot teams dot keys. New list. Okay. So, I don't think this is an ordered hash set. So this means that the team order is going to be effectively random, which is fine. Then we need a grid current team. That's a team that's currently up. Let's make a simple function advanced team. Oh, whoops, current team. Let's make this current team index. Oh, it's going to get ugly. So this is just going to rotate among all the teams. Now when we call step team, if, oops, insufficient, what the heck, okay. If team dot player control throw g dot I dot exception, try to use AI on a player team. I mean, maybe you'd want to do that in the future, but for now, let's catch that error so we don't do that by mistake. The step function, now the step function is a little different. It's now just going to call, it's not going to step, oh, so step used to step through every team, but that's kind of a useless function now. It really doesn't make any sense. We can get rid of that, actually. Yeah, we can get rid of that. So this is going to just make all the units act. In some of these tactics games, the order kind of matters. We're not going to worry about that for now, though. Step unit, that makes sense. So step unit, same kind of thing. If the just make sure we don't accidentally call this. We don't have a way to get the team from the unit. Public team get return. Okay, let's get back to our battle here. If the team is player controlled, then we have an error. We shouldn't be doing that. So the idea here is when it's a player control team, we're going to let the player do a bunch of things manually, and then we're going to call step advanced team. When the team is controlled by the computer, we're going to let the computer do its thing and then call advanced team. Okay, that makes sense. So let's go to program and see what our problem is. Oh yeah, step doesn't exist anymore. So now step is really just oh yeah. So now step team needs to be public. No, we don't need this. And kind of a lot of layers of indirection here, but that's fine. Okay. There's a little bit of weirdness here. Basically, when I run the program, the command line program, it causes object files to be created that then makes Godot unhappy. So every time I run this, I then have to go back to Godot and or go into the file system and delete some files, which is kind of weird. All right, let's see what this does. Oh, right. Okay, that was my fault. No, that's why we have exceptions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we don't want to do player control teams here. We only want to do them in Godot. So we don't have any UI here. So this should work fine. Round over, they're hitting each other, it's over. Okay, great. So now we need to delete these files. Go to Godot. So now, you know, some things have changed, right? Some things have changed. So for one, you know, we don't have this step anymore. It doesn't exist. What we really need so we can change this to step team, and this needs to be player controlled, computer controlled. Let's do a little print here. I think there's in team, there's like a name, right? Okay, so let's add that. We have current team index and team order. Let's make a little helper here. Public team, current team. This.map.teams, this.team order, this.current team index. And actually current team, there's another place I needed this. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so current team is up. If battle.current team.player controlled, then for now, we'll just do nothing. Otherwise, so basically the AI just gets free turns and we just get wrecked. All right, let's see what errors we have. Wow, no errors. Okay. Cool, so this is doing exactly what we want. So basically every time it's our turn, we're just skipping, and that's allowing this guy to just walk right up to us and start shooting arrows at us, or bullets at us. Pew, pew. Okay, that looks good. So now, start battle. This actually, instead of calling advanced team, here's where we're gonna actually break. And now the battle has started and it's our turn to do something and the game is just waiting on us. Dab. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is interesting. So now we can pan around. I guess if we click on a square, that's what we need to handle. If we click on a square, then the person should move to that square if they can. We also need to draw the squares that they can move to, but I'll leave that for another time. Yeah, so this all looks good. Basically, you're saying, look, there's no more events to render here. So we're just waiting. And I think it's a good place to do this. So the map is sitting here in our battle logic node. It seems like it's as good a place as any. So if we click, so we have this input event here for moving the camera. Oops. We can start by copying this. Put in our little battle logic node here. Is there like a mouse click in Godot? There's a mouse button event. Contains mouse click information. So there's a double click, true or false. There's a pressed. Okay, I guess you need to know if it has to be pressed and then released without moving. If you're moving, that shouldn't count as a action, right? That's just moving the screen around. So we need like a public boolean press, a rule, I guess, press false. Oh, we need like a press position. If something like that. Var release position. And so if the press position and the release position are close enough, actually, no, one is a little maybe different. Actually, we still need this, but we want to know if it was a press and not a drag. Um, so the idea here is, I don't need this anymore. So I'll handle that later. So if the current position is too far from the press position, I don't know, maybe 10. I'll have to find out a good number here. Okay, so the idea is if I drag something too far, if I'm pressed and I drag too far, I set drag to true. When I release, if dragged isn't true, then let's just print click. Let's see if this works. Missing a semicolon somewhere right there. Cannot convert vector 2 to vector. Oh, interesting. It's a vector 2. Okay. Vector 2 doesn't contain distance. All right, what's it called? Distance 2. All right. Okay, so if I click, dragged by distance, I click, cool, that looks good. Yeah, so basically if I don't drag that much, it's a click. If I start dragging, then it's invalid. It's not a click anymore, now it's dragging. So if it's a click, then I need to, first I need to check if it's my turn to do something. Oh, I need to handle like multiple, you know, you being able to control multiple units, but for now, let's just not worry about that. If this map current team player control. So if you're controlling your team, then you need to move the unit. Well, first we should check if that's a legal move, and then we'll move it. So let's see. Find nearest targetable enemy. Get chords in range. This is what we need. We should maybe make a helper for this. Yeah, let's take this and just call it units.get chords in range. And then let's go over to unit, create this function, public, I think it's like a list. Oh, it's a dictionary. What's wrong with this? Dictionary cannot be found. Need to use that generics thing. Here we go, system.collections.generic. Okay. So now we can call unit.getChords in range. It gives you the back references, which in this case don't really need. Reload, close. Okay. Okay, so we need to get like the one unit that we're controlling. So this dot map dot we'll just say unit for team. All right, that looks good. So we get the unit for the team. We see if, oh, we need to get the coordinate. Var chord clicked equals. That is actually going to be somewhere else. That's going to be in this. Arena grid map, actually. And this should probably be here. Yeah, so in Arena Grid Map, we have a way to get the walkable cells from the mouse event. Let me go and find where else I called that. What? Oh yeah, the search is like just not working in this. I think it was here. No. Oh, is it maybe in the camera? Ah, here we go. Do I have a link to the camera? I do. This dot camera. Okay, pick walkable cells. So now, basically what I want to do is check any of those cells. Just pick the first one that are in our range and just go there. So, you know, because the idea is someone can actually click and their click can kind of go through the cells. Oh, I guess I should probably pick the one with the highest floor. Yeah. So if you've clicked on one that the person can actually walk to, then walk to it. And so how do we do that? I forgot already. Move to attack range. So we need, we need to create this. So we should probably make this into a function. Unit.move to, and we need nearest chord. Yeah, I don't think we need this. Nearest chord path. Yeah, that's it. We're just pushing logic down in the stack here. Public void move to. Okay. Let's go back to here. So we have unit move to nearest chord path, which is a list of coordinates. That's good. And I'm pretty sure I can do the same thing here. And clean all this up. There we go. And then here, yeah, we have this path from back references. We're actually going to need that. Yeah, so we're going to do chords in range with back references. Okay, so now we have our path and we have our destination. Now we can call our unit.move2 clicked in range. Let's just call this path. Okay, let's see what errors we have. Map does not contain definition of current team. Oh yeah, that was part of battle, wasn't it? That's a problem. Oh, actually, no, this is fine. We just need the battle to be exposed. Cannot implicitly convert coordinate to Boolean if clicked in range not equal null. Okay, so red team is up. That's us. I can click here. Oh, it works. That's pretty freaking awesome. What it doesn't do is, yeah, we can move around as much as we want. Oh, he stopped moving. Maybe I made the system a little bit confused. Oh, I think I know what's wrong. Okay. Now let's see. Can I click here? I go here. Ooh, that's cool. That's too far. Oh no, that's not. All right, well, cool. Okay, so basically I can click around and this guy will move. I'm moving like, see you later, Antique. I'm moving way too far. You know, there needs to be some logic. Right now it's just letting me go anywhere I want. But this is pretty freaking awesome. And so if I go like this, it's not gonna move. So even if I go like this and end up right here, it's still smart enough not to move there. If I click there, he goes there. I think it's not quite right when I'm clicking on a spot that's higher up. Pick walkable cells. Yeah, there's something a little strange about the clicking. It's not quite right, but I'll have to look at that another day. Hey, this is cool. We made good progress. So we'll have to make it so when you click on the bad guy, it attacks them. We'll have a lot more to do, but this is a pretty good step in the